it's time for my March wrap-up. Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. It is already April. I don't understand how it's already April, but time is going by so quickly. Ever since I retired from work, it's just been moving. So for the month of March, if you remember, I was doing my series-a-thon for the first half of series-a-thon, and also March Mystery Madness. Excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this. So amongst those books, I also read some ebooks through my Kindle, and I read 13 books altogether. 6 of those were ebooks, so I'm going to go through the ebooks first, and then I'll go through my physical books. So let's just get started on this. So the first book I read for my ebook was See Her Run. This is by Riley Dark. This is an FBI thriller. I actually found her through BookBub, and she's actually a very good writer. In See Her Run, she is an FBI agent, and she gets set up, and she ends up killing this man. She does end up getting sentenced to prison over this. She does escape, so now she is just rogue FBI agent, and trying to clear her name in the meantime. And it ended pretty good. The writing's really good. It's very fast paced. I really enjoyed it. So it caused me to pick up the second book, which is See Her Hide. In this one, she is still on the run, still an FBI rogue. But her partner asked her if she could kind of help her. There was like 4 high school girls found murdered, and she's just got the brains of the brains, and her partner mistakenly asked her to help. They do get it solved, but she is still not cleared. She's still on the run. And the way I see it is if she doesn't get it figured out, and like in the next book, because the next book is coming out this year, and if she's still on the run, then I'm just not going to. I want her to actually be able to be an FBI agent without being on the run. So See Her Run I rated 4 stars, and See Her Hide was also 4 stars. Riley Dark, so go check it out. Very good author. The third one I read was And Then She Vanished, which was so different. It is a time travel. This one is by Nick Jones. I rated it 4 stars. His little sister gets taken away at some kind of a carnival or fair thing, and he goes back in time to kind of change things or stop it from happening, and that is the gist of the story. And I'm not going to tell you anything else because I don't want to ruin anything. Very good story. I know his other ones that he's got is going to be him being called upon to help in other situations, in other cases. So that was And Then She Vanished by Nick Jones. The fourth one was a romance, and it was called Opposites Attract. It's by Camille Islay, I want to say. Another one, it's 4 stars. So in this one, you've got Lucas, who's just having a bad day right from the start. And then you got Vivian, who is the reason for his bad day, pretty much. Like, she gets the last donut, she gets the best parking spot, and then she ends up getting the corner office that he wanted, because she kind of got in the way of him getting there on time for him to make the offer himself. So they end up being neighbors in this building. He is a marriage counselor, and she is a divorce lawyer. So opposites attract. Very good story. Had me laughing. It's a good rom-com. Next one I read was Let's Be Just Friends, also by Camilla Islay. I also discovered her through BookBub. This one I only rated 3 stars. You got these 2 that are best friends, and her boyfriend breaks up with her, and her best friend says she can move in with him, but his girlfriend has issues with that. He kind of sets up his girlfriend to fail and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so the story goes from there. They get together, whatever. I rated that one 3 stars. That one wasn't as good as Opposites Attract. I really liked that one. And then the last ebook that I read was Second Chance Summer. This is by Kate Nolan, also 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one because there was some softer sides to the story, some funny parts, and then of course the romance. You got Audrey, who years and years ago was in a near fatal accident. Her legs were crushed. It took her a lot of work to get to where she was, to where she could actually walk. And then you've got Hudson, who is a fireman, and they were in a fire, and 2 of his friends, one of them died. His other friend got him out so he could live. And then come to find out, he is the firefighter that saved Audrey's life in that accident. And then it goes from there. It was a really, really good story, a really good romance. 4 stars for that. Okay, so that's it for my ebooks. Now we've got our physical books that I read. And as you know, these were for my series-a-thon, which is still going on. Our spring edition goes from March through May. So March, I didn't get all 8 of the books read. I got 6.5, I guess, read. So the other 2 are going to carry over into April. But anyway, let's just finish this up. So Hot-Blooded and Cold-Blooded. These 2, this is the first 2. This is the first one, second one. These revolve around our Detective Bents. And she really upped the ante with each book. So each book got better, but they're really, I don't want to say heavy reads, but there's a lot of detail. You have to remember a lot of things in these books. So they do take a while, not to mention they're thick books. So we got Hot-Blooded and then Cold-Blooded, and these revolve around Rick Bentz, who is one of the detectives. And this one had a lot to do with killing in the name of God, and I think I explained that when I did my other series-a-thon. Okay, and then the next ones were Shiver and Absolute Fear, and these 2 were Montoya. These had to do with the hospital that Abby's mother was in, and she supposedly committed suicide, and they had to figure out differently or whatever. That was the mystery. So these are Ruben Montoya ones. These are all the same series, New Orleans series. And then you got Lost Souls and Malice, which is back with Bents. Now, Lost Souls, it wasn't vampires like I thought. Okay, it was along those lines, but it was a completely different turnout. So I'm not going to tell what that is in case anybody wants to read this. So I was thankful that it was not vampires. So that's what this one was. And then Malice was all about Rick Bentz and his dead ex-wife. He thought she was haunting him. She was seeing him everywhere. And he had to go to California and figure out what was going on. This was probably by far my favorite of all of them. I think I gave most of them 5 stars, except for Hot-Blooded was a 4-star. So, yeah, that was, this was my favorite by far, Malice. Okay, so there's those 6. The 7th one, which I only got here. But I'm going to try to finish this one up and this one up come April. Then the last book I read was my spur of the moment read, because I was reading this book right here. This is the one I was reading. And I just happened to get on BookTube to watch some of you guys and some of the videos you did. And I came across this thing with TikTok compilation on this book that I chose as spur of the moment. So I quit reading Devious and picked this book up and read it in less than 24 hours. And I'm like, I really need to read that. And that was Ugly Love. This was completely different than what I thought this story was going to be. This is probably now my favorite Colleen Hoover book. Absolutely loved this. Your heart just gets ripped out. I think I may have even had a little tear. It was really, really, really good. This was definitely a 5-star read. My favorite, probably. I don't know how it goes for people, or which ones are their favorites and which ones aren't. But this is only the 4th one I've read, though. And I gotta say, I loved it. I loved it. I just like Colleen Hoover now. I can't believe I waited this long to read anything by her. Some parts of this were a little difficult to read. You're following Tate and Miles in this book. And you have Rachel, who's kind of in the background. You get stories about Rachel in Tate's point of view. Or, I mean, in Miles' point of view. But it's back 6 years earlier. And so Tate meets Miles. Miles is a pilot. Tate moves in with her brother, who's also a pilot. Miles lives across the way. And sparks kind of fly. But Miles says, hey, there's no future here. It's all just sex. And I think that was why I thought this was going to be different than it was. I thought it was just going to be a bunch of sexy times. And it wasn't that at all. There was so much of a story here. And that's all I'm going to say. And there's, like I said, there's difficult parts to read and parts where it just rips your heart out of your body. And it was so worth the read. So if you want a good book to read, pick up Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, because it was fantastic. I absolutely adored this book, and so much more than I thought I was going to like it. So I'm glad I read it. Really glad I read it. So that's my wrap up. So I read 13 books. 6 of those were ebooks. The rest of them were physical. So I think that is it for this video, guys. If you've read any of these books, or you did well in March Mystery Madness, or you did the series-a-thon, then post down in the comments below and we will talk about it. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.